On May 12, 2026, the U.S. Office of Government Ethics published a 113-page financial disclosure document filed by the President of the United States. It listed 3,642 securities transactions in a single quarter, totaling between $220 million and $750 million in value. This is public information required by federal law, available to absolutely anyone. Today, we're breaking it down so you don't have to. This isn't financial advice, it's an explainer. No BS, only RS. Let's go. Every U.S. president is required by federal ethics law to disclose their financial transactions. This most recent filing covers January through March of 2026. That's the first quarter of Trump's second term. The forms show more than 3,700 transactions, and the total amount for each is listed as a range rather than an exact figure. Cumulatively, Reuters puts the value at between $220 million and $750 million. Now, there are a few important caveats we need to establish before going any further. The White House has stated that Trump's financial portfolio is independently managed by third-party financial institutions. They say that neither President Trump nor any member of his family has any ability to direct, influence, or provide input regarding how the portfolio is invested or when investments are bought or sold. All investment decisions are made entirely by independent managers. For our purposes, we are presenting the data exactly as it was disclosed. We aren't making any judgments about intent, because that's just not what this channel does. We focus on the numbers. So let's get into it. Section 1. What he bought. The Q1 2026 purchases. AAPL, $2.7 million plus. The portfolio went on a pretty significant purchasing spree in Q1, acquiring between $2.05 million and $7.2 million in shares to add to the existing holdings. Nvidia, $1 to $5 million. This was purchased on February 10th. Interestingly, that was only a week before Nvidia announced a major computer processing power deal with Meta. Again, we are strictly reporting the sequence of events exactly as they were filed. AVGO, $1.58 million plus. During the first quarter of 2026, the portfolio bought more than $1 million of Broadcom stock to reach this total holding. PLTR, $260,000 plus. These Palantir shares were acquired during those first 3 months, with up to $150,000 of that bought in January alone. Beyond those individual stocks, the March 25th trading session layered in single-name buys of Apple, Microsoft, Vertiv Holdings, AMD, Intel, Arista Networks, Lam Research, and Qualcomm. But it wasn't just individual tech names. The filing also included a $1 million to $5 million buy of the iShares Russell 1000 ETF and a $500,000 to $1 million top-up of the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. So there are index funds here too, the exact same S&P 500 ETFs available to any retail investor out there. Then we have the media stocks. The portfolio bought at least $571,000 of securities in Netflix, at least $1.08 million in Comcast, at least $364,000 in Disney, and at least $30,000 in Warner Bros. Discovery. Interestingly, these are the same companies the president has publicly criticized. But the data is the data. Let's take a quick pause before we get into what was sold. If you're finding this explainer useful and you want more content like this, no fluff, just verified data, take a second to subscribe. It's completely free and it really helps us out. Also, drop a comment below and tell us which stock on this list surprises you the most. We actually read every single one. Okay, moving on. What did he sell? Section 2. What he sold. The Q1 2026 sells. While the portfolio is buying aggressively, it was simultaneously selling aggressively. We're talking $5 to $25 million worth of Amazon sold in a single transaction. The same for Meta, and the exact same for Microsoft. But here's the interesting part. Simultaneously, the portfolio was buying smaller positions in those exact same companies during dips. The filings show active exposure was maintained by executing smaller purchases in each of these 3 companies, ranging from $1,000 up to $5 million. This pattern right here, selling large positions at the top while buying smaller positions on the dips, is a very classic portfolio rebalancing strategy. Looking at the rest, individual purchases of Nvidia, Microsoft, Broadcom, Amazon, Apple, and others ranged from $1 million to $5 million in disclosed value. Meanwhile, buy orders for AMD, Intel, Goldman Sachs, Alphabet, Airbnb, DoorDash, Micron, Bloom Energy, and others landed in the $500,000 to $1 million range. There were also hundreds of stock sales reported, ranging from $15,000 all the way up to $25 million. The overall breadth is just extraordinary. This is definitely not a concentrated portfolio. It covers dozens of different sectors, from tech and media to financials and energy. Section 3. What the data actually shows. We've identified 3 clear patterns. Pattern 1. The semiconductor sector became a primary focus for new positions this quarter. Nvidia and Broadcom both received new allocations in the $1 to $5 million range, while Texas Instruments, Synopsys, and Cadence Design Systems also saw new positions. This represents a highly significant bet on AI infrastructure. Pattern 2. Holdings in tech giants like Amazon, Meta, and Microsoft saw reductions at their peak valuations, while substantial new positions were being established in semiconductor companies, so selling at the highs and buying the dips in an entirely different sector. It's a classic rotation strategy. And pattern 3, the portfolio bought the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF and the iShares Russell 1000. These are the exact same passive index funds available to any investor in the world, sitting right alongside hundreds of individual stock picks. That combination, broad index exposure paired with concentrated sector bets, is exactly what many retail investors are told to consider by their own financial advisors. To put the sheer volume into perspective, the portfolio executed 3,642 securities transactions in Q1. That averages out to roughly 58 trades for every single U.S. trading day in the quarter. 58 trades per day, every trading day, for 3 solid months. Now, whether those are discretionary calls or managed account decisions, the filing doesn't specify beyond noting the filer. Section 4. The honest context. Before we wrap this up, there are 3 crucial things that really matter for context. 1. These disclosure forms provide only a partial snapshot of an official's financial activity. That's because they list transactions above $1,000 in very broad value bands. They do not disclose exact prices, profits, or whether assets were purchased directly or through managed accounts. Because of this, you simply cannot calculate exact profits from this filing alone. The ranges are just too broad. 2. The annual financial disclosure, which is the broader filing that includes business assets, income, golf resorts, and crypto ventures, is expected later this year. That document will give us a much fuller picture. And 3. Whether the timing of these trades reflects discretionary calls by the president, by a trust manager, or by a managed account is not specified anywhere in this filing. This is public data. We've read it, we've shared it with you. What you choose to do with it is your decision. So here is a quick summary of what the Q1 2026 disclosure actually showed. Between 3,600 and 3,700 transactions, a total value of $220 million to $750 million. The biggest buys included Apple, Nvidia, Broadcom, Palantir, ServiceNow, Oracle, Adobe, and Texas Instruments. The biggest sells were Amazon, Meta, and Microsoft, sold at a peak valuation tier of $5 to $25 million per transaction. The portfolio also bought Netflix, Disney, Comcast, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, the iShares Russell 1000 ETF, Goldman Sachs, and Bank of America. All of this is entirely public. All of it is filed with the U.S. Office of Government Ethics. We put all the source links right down in the description so you can read the original 113-page document for yourself. This is not financial advice. It's not a political opinion. It is just the data. No BS, only RS. Real shit. Now, I have one question for you before you go. Knowing what you now know is inside this portfolio, does it change how you think about any of these stocks? Yes or no? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Be sure to subscribe if you found this explainer useful, and maybe share it with one person who follows the news but has never actually sat down to read a financial disclosure before. No BS, only RS. I'll see you next week.